Hello and welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll of the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to our newest Grab Bag Gaming. If this is your first, welcome, and a quick explanation. Every fifth Monday in the month, we take a break from our normal campaign to try out a new system. I pick one I've never played and guide our players through character creation and a completed one-shot adventure. As we're learning as we go, expect some rules errors, but a ton of fun along the way. Yesterday, we went through character creation, so today, our heroes join the eternal hunt. So join us as we enter a new world in RPG Blender's Grab Bag Gaming, Rippers, to join the hunt. Hello and welcome to the RPG Blender. I'm your host, Game Master George, and I messed up my own intro, but that's okay, I don't really care. Anyway, joining me today as we dive into this Rippers adventure is not quite our usual cast, but that's fine, we're gonna have some fun anyway, and I'm sure probably a little more fun because we're bringing in somebody new tonight. So let's start with the one you know, that is Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Rich. I'm going to be playing Benji tonight. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. Going to hunt a lot of monsters. Going to be a good time.
All right. Anything you'd like to tell us about Benji before we get started?
Yeah, he's just a normal, mild-mannered kind of guy. He likes to read Shakespeare and everything like that. Does a lot of reading on the road and what have you. Also was rescued from Frankenstein's castle as a young boy, and it was an experiment and everything inside of that castle, along dozens of other children who are still part of Frankenstein's cult. But and that regular guy, salt of the earth.
Benji, do you have any academics?
Who now? No, I don't touch the stuff.
Okay, you just read Shakespeare for fun. Got it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
None of that studying. I understand. All right. And joining us for the first time is Jared. Say hello, Jared.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's so yep, you got it. Glad to be here.
All right. And who will you be playing tonight?
I'll be playing Baxter McMillan.
Baxter McMillan. Would you like to tell us anything about Baxter McMillan?
Yes, well, he is a former manservant of a wealthy Irish family until they all got slaughtered by some vampires, and then he took up the vocation of hunting them down.
Wow,
serving what's what.
Okay, that's quite a deep backstory already. All right, well,
you're like opposite Batman.
You got it.
If you're interested, you can find Jared on Twitch at Sir Winter Knight. Is there anywhere else that people can find you?
It's pretty much I'm a theater artist in the Baltimore area, a theater artist and educator. Just wanted to throw that in there too. So
yeah,
thanks for having me.
So when you need some theater education,
you got it. You know who to hit up.
All right. So tonight we are going to be, or to this morning, whenever you are listening or watching to this, we are going to be diving into finally Rippers, a Savage Worlds setting. This is a setting set in the Victorian era. I've said set many times. Doesn't matter. We're going to keep going. Set in the Victorian era where monsters are real. Monsters stalk the night, but combating them from the shadows are the Rippers. This is a secretive organization of hunters dedicated to stopping the flow of evil, of combating these shadows, and making sure that the people, the average citizens, are not caught up in their depraved desires. These Rippers, of course, engage in Ripper Tech, which is the practice of cutting up a monster that they have just hunted, taking bits of its body and implanting it into themselves in order to gain some modicum of equal footing against future monsters. However, this leads to some bits of degradation of humanity. As such, this actually managed to create their largest foe, Jack the Ripper. Once a member of the Rippers, he is now the leader of the Shadowy Cabal, a force working to destroy the Rippers, which has met them at every turn and has been steadily over the past years breaking down the Rippers, driving them down from what was once a fairly powerful organization in the world down to some bare bones within its society. So here we are, new Rippers joining this organization on the downslide. Will these heroes be able to turn the tides, to bring the light back to the shadow and drive the Cabal back from their quest of domination and destruction of the Rippers? We won't find out tonight, but tonight we will find out how they begin as we find ourselves at a dinner party. And Rich cringes inwardly as I mention that we started a dinner party.
You are not wrong. This is my only non-social character. I build social characters just constantly, and you're like, and now that you're a horned man, welcome to a dinner party. Take your hat off.
You find just follow the lead. Just copy everyone else.
You, along with other new recruits, new people who have been being trained to be Rippers, as you are about to embark on your journey to make your names within the society and to begin fighting back against these shadows. You've been gathered here to a party for one last celebration before you begin your endless hunts. You find yourselves at the manor of Sir Lord Abraham Van Helsing. Doctor, that's his correct moniker. Dr. Abraham Van Helsing. Your host has yet to appear. However, you find yourselves at a table, a long table stretching the length of this fairly magnificent room. You can see lining the walls trophies of many of his kills, a bit of werewolf arm. You can see some fangs mounted on what looks like a mannequin head of some kind, clearly some kind of meaningful kill from the past. Also joining you, you see 4 other soon-to-be Rippers. You see 2 men and 2 women. The first woman is a fairly attractive woman as she is circling the room, actively talking to whoever might come near. There is a confidence about her. She stands about 5'2" with long brown hair in a dress of a shade of deep red. As she walks around, it's clear that many eyes are meant to draw to her. The other woman is more severe, as she, rather than schmoozing and engaging with the party guests, is approaching people with a calculating eye. She doesn't approach and talk. Instead, she keeps back and watches how they interact with this other woman. Clearly with a little more of an investigative bent. She's dressed in fairly mannish attire, actually, for the era. Suit and pants, with her hair tied back in a very tight bun, as she carries a notebook under her one arm. The first man is a large man, almost a brute of a man, you might say. He is making no real efforts to engage in anybody. Instead, he has parked himself at the table and is already engaging in some of the very delectable foods which have been prepared. This man is somewhat scarred. You can see what looks like remnants of some kind of battle with a past creature on the side of his face as he chokes down another bite of delicious but perhaps unnameable meat. And finally, a rather lithe young man stands alone in the corner, simply watching everything that goes by. He is, unlike everybody else here, almost dressed for battle. You can see him in leather garb covering almost his entire body, and you can see what looks like some straps at the back of it, which look like it probably connects to a hood piece, which he is not currently wearing. As he surveys the room, however, he is not doing so with the investigative eye of the second woman. Instead, he has a more violent approach. That's a terrible way of describing it.
He's looking. He's on edge.
Yes, he is looking for the danger. He is not trying to learn about these people. He's trying to find the source of danger that he clearly believes is here. And in addition to these 4 definitely not made up on the spot individuals, we have, who would like to go first?
I think Baxter wants to go first.
Throwing him under the bus on his first session. All right.
Sure. Baxter McMillan sort of takes to the sides and quietly and he's diminutive in personality, not necessarily in stature. So he sort of keeps to himself and is examining those fangs in particular. Dressed in sharp but simple dark grays and blacks with some sunglasses on, which is a little unusual considering it's probably evening for a dinner party.
True. All right. Nice. And the last of the guests.
Is everyone here a Ripper?
That is what you've been led to believe, yes.
So, like, I could not have my hat on and it would be like, no one would freak out.
I mean, Ripper Tech is a known entity. It is something that they use. That doesn't necessarily mean that they like seeing people walking around with demon horns. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be thrilled to see it on display. It is a necessary evil for the fight.
I wear my hat. That's the answer. There is I wear my hat.
What kind of hat?
It's a bowler, obviously.
Ah, okay. Obviously. Sorry.
It's a special bowler that's a little bit bigger because the horns come like back.
Okay.
But other than that, Benji is actually actively talking to anyone because he hasn't had much of a chance to talk to many people throughout his life. He's actually been kept, I don't want to say like latchkey, but kind of latchkey because he's an unknown. You didn't know, what was going to happen with him. So he's always very happy to be out and about. And only because of the dire straits that everyone's in, am I now out and about as a field agent. So that's pretty good, yeah. And I'm having this conversation with like a guy who's giving me hors d'oeuvres. So I'm like, that's pretty great, yeah.
The guy who is giving you hors d'oeuvres looks like he wants to leave the conversation, but he does not seem taken aback by you. It's more of a, yep, okay, I got work to do. Let me get out of here.
Yeah, I don't let him. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm aware. I know how this works. No, he doesn't have a name.
I wasn't even going to ask his name. I was going to give him a name, but every time I do that, you're like, that's not my name. It's only to help you.
That's true. I don't know why I shoot that good gift horse in the foot.
Baxter can't help but appraise the quality of the help and feel like, how are they doing?
Okay, give me a notice roll.
Oh, okay. Notice over here.
But yeah, Benji's actually not very tall at all. He's like 5'7", so on the smaller side for, I would assume, most of the people, especially the other hunters and whatnot, and Mr. Gargantuan Eating Man. Other than that, his clothes, okay, are just that they're okay. He has a long coat, and like a nice button down and some slacks, and then his boots are actually muddy, even though this is a dinner party, and though he didn't track mud in, they're clearly not polished, and whatever polishing in, he's not used to doing it.
Okay, you find yourselves at this dinner party. Everything is arrayed before you. What do you do? Oh, right, what was your notice roll? What was the result of your notice?
What would you get to know if these people are good at doing the job?
A 4, and I have no idea if that's good or bad, but I got a 4.
It's exactly okay. Or it's succeeding.
A 4. The staff is very well trained. Generally speaking, the target number for an unopposed roll is a 4 for the system. So if you hit the 4, you're generally good. For every 4 that you exceed it by, you get a raise, which means that you will get more information or a more effective skill check. They are the equivalents of a critical success, I suppose. If you ever roll the maximum number on your die, you re-roll and add, which this application should do if you drag it into the chat window when you are rolling. If you choose to roll in the app, you can. I don't care if you roll manually. Whatever you choose.
I'm a sucker for app die mechanics, so I'm here for it.
Okay, so yes, you see that the staff is very well trained. Aside from the one that is trying to extricate himself from Benji.
Yeah.
Benji. I will learn your name eventually, maybe, probably not. Except for the one that is trying to extricate himself from Benji, they are all the picture of the unseen servant, staying to the outskirts, coming in just to grab the glass or to drop off another hors d'oeuvre, and then disappear back into the shadows. Not the bad kind of shadows, the good kind of shadows. The one who is attempting to extricate himself from Benji is still doing so with absolute grace and aplomb, and in the most polite way he possibly could, which is possibly why it's failing.
Yeah, eventually I let him go. I'm like, all right, you got work to do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Baxter, you gotta tell me what you're gonna do, because otherwise I'm gonna.
Yeah. What about these fangs? Now I'm curious about these fangs.
Okay. You go to examine the fangs. You can go ahead and give me your. You can give me your Ripper Tech roll. Ooh, great roll was a natural 1, but both were not, so it was not a critical failure. That's good. So you are not certain. You can tell that they are probably vampire fangs because you rolled a. What did you roll? Because it's a podcast.
A 3.
Yes.
A 3.
So you can tell that they're clearly supernatural fangs. They are probably vampire fangs. You've been exposed to them enough to have a general idea of the elongated incisors. Did I use the right word? Canine. That's it. One day I'll actually know things. One day I'll know things. No,
they're not beavers.
Yeah, the elongated canines. It's pretty easy to tell that these are vampire fangs, though what significance they have behind them, you can't quite tell. There's no plaque or anything indicating the source or cause for them being displayed with such veneration.
All right. Well, it's more in my my nature. While I'm curious, I am more reserved, so I'm sort of waiting for the action to happen. Although, actually, since I saw the help, if it hasn't yet been released, I'd go try to. I'd feel a sense of compassion, so as you know, there's sort of an affinity there. So I'd probably go try to help him out by engaging with Benji to let the poor sod continue with his duties.
Okay. So before you manage to let the poor sod engage in his duties, Baxter makes his way over toward Benji.
Fair evening to ya.
Oh, even how tall are you?
Like 5'11", just short of 6, I say. Yeah, tallish.
All right. Hey, how's it going there, Beanstalk? What you doing?
Just sort of checking things out there. I take a glass of whatever from wine, let's say red wine from the
Sure.
server, and then give him a little thanks and a wink, and let him make his leave.
He returns your wink with a slight bow and then walks away, probably faster than he normally would.
I've got the good stuff here.
Oh yeah, everything here is nice. You see all the monster bits all around. That's pretty cool, yeah.
I did. I'm so curious about what stories are behind them.
Which ones?
Well, there's the fangs over there. There's the werewolf arms. There's some kind of horn over there, and too much.
I got a 5 for the fangs. Do I have any idea what those things are?
They are very clearly vampire fangs. They are preserved in a way that they probably could have been used for Ripper tech after they were first extracted. However, they were then treated with some kind of preservative substance, which probably drained it of some of its natural or unnatural magics. So it would probably not be an effective Ripper piece of implant anymore. The fact that they did that also points toward this being some kind of significant item.
Yeah, those are vampire fangs, but so the way they take them out, they would have been able to stick them in, but then they did something to them to kind of polish them up and keep them around and not inside somebody's mouth. So one of two things then, yeah. Either it was a trophy, which is a weird way to store a trophy. You could store it a different way, or it's a trophy from a Ripper.
Interesting. And what makes you suspect the latter?
Because of the way they're treated. They're made to go back into somebody's mouth. That's the weird part.
Interesting. And I'm curious that you...
That's not... That's the
It
opposite.
is. You said
the opposite
they
of
were
what I said,
taken
that
out,
they
but then they were given something that made it so they wouldn't go in somebody's mouth.
Okay.
So my thought is that they maybe were taken out of a Ripper. I don't care. I'm excited. I'm like, this is just fucking great to be here. I'm talking to people. I don't care.
Cool.
Oh, you seem well versed in the process.
Oh yeah, I love Ripper tech. It's real cool. I mean, besides making you go insane and everything like that, but you know, I mean, if you only have 1 or 2 bits, generally you'll be all right.
Sure, you'll be right. It's the burden the Rippers bear, I suppose.
All right, yeah. How about you? You got any good bits in you?
Oh, I've got a few
I just
tricks up my
say
sleeve.
just totally nonchalantly.
I've got a trick or two up my sleeve.
Nice. You know any of these other ones?
I don't. I was about to ask you the same thing.
Oh, nice. No, I don't know them. If I had to guess, I would guess that's a honeypot bear trap, and I would guess that is probably their accompaniment, unless that's their accompaniment. And then this guy looks like he's really scared to death. I feel bad for him, and I'm talking at like a normal, like a completely like any one of these people could pay the most modicum of attention to me, and they can absolutely hear me.
Right.
I say, but that guy looks like he'd fuck you up, right? Look at this guy; he's just fucking covered in it. Took him a bit to graduate, though. That's odd.
I nod.
And then the awkward silence descends upon...
It's not awkward for Baxter at all.
Yeah, me either. I'm chilling.
You both enjoy the silence for the briefest of moments. Before you... give me your notice rolls.
Do I have... Oh, I do have that. I'm just not good at it.
A 5.
I got also a 5.
Okay, cool. All right. You notice a few extra people sliding into the room. These don't look like the mostly fresh-faced recruits that you see around. You can see that these appear to be more venerable Rippers. One's representatives from various lodges from across the organization gathered here to honor, test, observe, meet the new graduates, I guess you could say. As you make this realization, as you see them, a door at the far end of the room opens, and in walks Dr. Abraham Van Helsing.
Oh, Baxter, that's Van Helsing. Be quiet. Don't say anything.
Thanks.
An older gentleman in an impeccable suit and what was the fashion be for the tie back then? Cravat?
Ascotty?
Sure.
don't know.
Ascot.
What did you call me?
Suit jacket and ascot. He walks in, bracing himself slightly on a cane as he does, supporting a minor limp. His graying hair closely cropped. as he walks in with well-practiced eyes and surveys the group. Welcome, welcome. I am so glad that you have come here. We are always glad to have new recruits. I will get this accent eventually. The Rippers, they are a necessity for this world. They must endure, and they must have new blood. And so it is very heartening to see all of you here taking on the mantle of the Ripper, knowing the curses that will come your way, which will likely claim some of your lives. Your sacrifices will be known to us and us alone, but the effects will be felt throughout the world. I thank you all for coming here, and I thank you for your service. Please, make yourselves at home, sit, partake in the food, for tonight we shall hunt. Tonight you shall begin your lives as Rippers. And he gestures toward the table, where one of the gentlemen is already seated, and you can see that there are clearly table spots laid out for each of you. There are name tags at each seat. There is one more open spot than there are people here gathered. Other than that, you can easily find your named spots if you so choose.
I do so, but it's not next to Baxter's, so I just move the nameplate that's next to Baxter's, and then I move mine next to it, and then I sit.
All right, I was going to put it next to Baxter's, but sure, you do that.
Oh, this looks like a mistake. There we are. Oh, all right.
Well, Baxter, you've just been adopted by this strange man. I'm sorry. On the other side of you is actually as people begin making their way in, you can see that the left open spot is the one that's next to you. The name reading, Dr. Elric von Richtenstein.
That's next to me?
Next to you.
Great.
No, sorry. Sure, yes. Next to you.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Nope, that's fine.
Great.
Yep, it doesn't matter. On the other side of you, now, Benji, is Margaret Turner.
Which one is that?
She is the more bookish woman
I knew it.
who is observing.
You knew it.
I knew by the name alone.
And on the other side of where Dr. Elric would be sitting is where is the head of the table where Dr. Van Helsing himself is seated. The older Rippers themselves do not make their way to the table. They instead take up guard positions around the room as eventually servants come in bringing you your meal. A real meal, not the pickings that had been laid out before. This is a feast fit for, well, heroes, for returning soldiers, or those who have taken up a seemingly impossible challenge against the darkness like you have.
Do the more veteran soldiers seem at ease, or like, are they there ceremonially, or are they like legit on edge waiting for shit to go crazy?
You can give me a notice. Notice is useful.
Got
Nice.
7.
Nice. Okay. With 7, yes, they seem mostly ceremonial. You can see one that seems like he's a little more at ease than the others, not really taking the whole thing as seriously. But for the most part, despite the clearly ceremonial nature of their position, they are approaching this with a high level of decorum, treating this as if this were a true protection detail rather than something ceremonial.
Right. I take my seat. I'm very precise and deliberate and delicate with every little napkin unfolding and making sure my glasses are just so. My drinking glasses.
Oh, okay. Your drinking glass.
I pull out my chair. The wood that scrapes against it is like, and I just kind of plop down and I go, "Oh, you're really good at that." And I point at the guy who's already sitting. I was like, "Oh, you go ahead, start." It's smart guy that.
Well, practice makes perfect, they say.
Okay. Do either of you do anything in particular, or
Just waiting for whatever to exactly. I'm curious. Cool. I'm curious to if Dr. Elric takes the seat eventually. Which one that is?
Okay. He does not. All the other individuals that you had seen milling about the room do take seats, but they don't. None of them come toward that seat.
Okay.
You can see that the gentleman who was in the corner is very quick to rush to move in and swipe the name tag off of his table, off of his spot, before probably most people can read who it is. And then take his seat. The other woman who sits between him and the larger man is, you can see that the name just has a first name, Bethany. There's no last name assigned to it. And finally, tossed off to the side, you can see the name tag of Waxilium Ladrian, the large gentleman.
Little Waxilium.
Yeah.
So based on what you said about the seating, it's me, an empty seat, and then Van Helsing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Kitty corner to me. And is Van Helsing sitting and eating? Or is
He has sat down. He is not eating anything.
Okay.
No food has been brought to him yet. The servants come and they serve you first.
All right. I guess I would look over and say, "My lord, is everything okay with the missing guest here? Should we be concerned?"
I should think not. I believe he will show up eventually. Unfortunately, he has developed a bit of a reputation for unpunctuality. In more luxuriant times, we might not have allowed for such. But here, in the dark days upon which we find ourselves, his skills are necessary.
Understood. Well, let us know if we can be of any help.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course. That is why you are here. You are the chosen. You are the ones who will fight for us. And we thank you.
Indeed. Slancha,
Yeah, and I just
I take a,
What's the German?
I take a sip of. I don't know.
I don't either.
Rob Brown.
Prost?
Prost, that's it.
Prost.
Prost.
There it is. I wasn't sure if that was
Said
German.
it too.
Yeah.
Prost.
We're close.
And for our viewers, that seat will be filled when Greg makes it back. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it this evening. Coming at you, Greg.
I look over at Margaret and I'm like, so what do you do? You study up on things? You good at fighting?
I'm an investigator. That is my specialty, gathering information and, well, deciphering it.
Nice. So you get to find the nests and stuff.
That is correct.
Nice. It's probably be pretty satisfying work, yeah? Figuring out where to go, outsmarting people.
Satisfying, I suppose. Not particularly challenging most of the time, but I look forward to that changing.
And it's true. Monsters aren't people. Got all kinds of weird gobbledygook going up in there. You're trying to untangle several ropes of spaghetti intertwined with some, necklaces. It can be hard because you don't want to break the spaghetti, but you don't want to ruin the necklaces, you know?
Exactly my thoughts.
And a somewhat incredulous look appears on her face. And what do you do?
I fight them. Yeah. I rely on people like you to point, and then I just fight them.
Well, I'll keep that in mind when I have some pointing to do.
Always appreciate it. I'll do a very, very light tip that does not actually move my hat very far.
Okay. All right.
Other than that, yeah, I just keep on scarfing stuff down. But if it's silent, then I'm going to point over at the Lithe guy eventually. Be like, hey, what's your name?
My name?
Yeah, your name.
You don't need to know my name.
Well, what do you want to be called?
I want to be called when it's time to kill these creatures. That's all you need to know.
All right, I'm going to call you Killer then. We're all okay with that? We're all okay? You're Killer. All right.
Oh boy. Well, the dynamic has been set. Okay.
There might also be a reason that people don't like Benji. Like, it's okay.
No.
Yeah. You guys are free to roleplay whatever as long as you like, and when you are ready to proceed, we'll proceed. You guys can talk amongst yourselves or not. I'm easy here.
Well, I asked the big guy how many monsters he's killed.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. How many monsters you get? But I do it like after, like in the middle of dinner. Like I finish like chowing down on a roll and drink really hard. I'm like, how many monsters have you killed?
4.
Wow, that's good. You was just doing that independently.
There were 5.
5 what? What kind? No, I'm curious.
Dead. Don't know what they were, but they rose up, attacked my family. 1 got away.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and well done.
Oh, it's real good. Most people can't kill any. I haven't killed none.
I have advantages.
Oh.
As he grabs another massive handful of food and just chomps away
Yes.
at it. At which point, Bethany turns, oh, so, what about you there, gentlemen? What do you do? Looking at, Benji. No, Baxter.
Baxter. Looks at Baxter. Benji is a fucking moron.
With your
Don't talk.
bees.
The bees.
The BB gang.
Oh, I'm good at getting in and out of places, and I can go unnoticed when it suits me.
Oh, well, that's useful.
Precision.
Certainly can be. And yourself, milady. Certainly a woman of such charms must have a whole array of skill sets to offer.
Oh, I do a little of this and a little of that. But mostly I know people, and I can get us in where we need to. When your skills are less needed, and we instead need to work the tongue.
Indeed.
Pretty good at that too. Yeah.
I had no doubt in my mind.
Oh, she's good. She's good.
Yes, Benji's got the gift of the gab, as they say.
I could tell.
And I lower my sunglasses and give a wink to Bethany,
You lower your sunglasses.
just to give a wink.
Okay, cool. Is there anything obvious about that?
Because a gift of the gab, I'm making an inner joke with her.
Oh,
Sarcastic
yeah,
joke,
no. I mean, like your sunglasses.
Well, because they're sunglasses. Well, to see the wink, I'd have to lower them.
Yeah. Okay, so
She's asking, is there anything weird about your face?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
Perfectly normal face. I just realized if I want to wink and for the wink to be seen, then the lowering would have to happen.
Yeah, you're
Yes. Okay. She looks at you as you wink. She returns it, and the party continues. Okay. Before long, the dinner has been served. You've all enjoyed a nice, delicious meal. And as the night draws on, Van Helsing rises. My new friends, it is time for you to begin your hunts. Please, you will pair up, and you will take to the streets. You will protect this city for this night. The vigil falls upon you, and we wish you luck. Please, come back here with stories to tell.
right. All right.
At that, he gets up, he turns around, and walks away. As you can see, the people begin quickly gathering there, looking next to each other, grabbing somebody. Unnamed killer looks begrudgingly around after being told that he needs to pair up, at which point,
Margaret. Yeah.
Names! Why do
Margaret.
I suck at names?
I
Margaret.
wrote it down. Yeah. I was gonna say.
At
It's
which
Margaret.
point, Margaret grabs him, clearly looking for a killer type. Bethany and Wax pair up as well, leaving the two of you.
I mean, we
that's
paired up
sort of
first,
bingey.
so it was fine.
It's true.
That's true. I was about to say, unless you intercept one of these pairings, but I think Benji already claimed Baxter.
Seems like kismet.
All right.
Now, how are we deciding who's going where in the town? Are we all just on our own patrols, or I'm asking to the group at large?
Well, let's see.
At that, the hunters from the side step forward. Each of them has what looks like... three of them step forward. Each of them has a sealed envelope. Your patrols. The one near you steps forward and hands you the envelope. You're to take...
Aw. Oh,
Aw.
it's orders. I thought it was a card. Go ahead.
You are to patrol the park, Hyde Park. Very well. Understood.
All right.
All right. Be safe and kill something for us.
Do our best, and I give a little salute.
I will hand Baxter the envelope. All right.
Yeah. I'll check it out, see if there's anything additional on the envelope inside.
No, it's just a map of the surrounding area with a suggested patrol route, which takes you through Hyde Park, around the side, and down the bottom. And the surrounding area is just a little suggested path for you to take, though you are, of course, welcome to adjust it if you so desire.
Yeah, we can wing it. I'm gonna go to the umbrella basket, and I pick up what is clearly a very poorly disguised rifle inside of the umbrella.
Okay.
Great.
Rifle. That's generous. Isn't it a musket?
It is a musket. Well, you don't know what it is because you can only see the butt with an umbrella on it.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay. Do either of you have anything else that you do as you make your way out of this manor?
No,
I say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, likewise, I'd make a nice cordial greeting and well wish to everybody.
Okay. They all return the gesture, mostly wholeheartedly. You can give me notice rolls if you'd like.
You got it.
Got a 4.
Okay.
I got a 5. It's a
Okay.
classic number.
That classic number on a D4, getting a 5. That's.
I've gotten a 5 every time I rolled.
Have you?
Yes,
Do you have cheat mode on?
I hope.
If we were playing this on the tabletop, because I noticed that sometimes multiple dice end up
Oh, they
getting rolled.
explode.
Oh, is that why?
If you roll,
If
the,
you roll the
maximum
max.
number, it rolls it again. Also, you are wild cards. So when you roll a skill, you are rolling your skill die plus a D6.
That's
and
what it is.
whichever is the higher that you
You're
get.
not cheating.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, you're not actually cheating.
Thanks. I was just curious about the mechanics of it.
Yes. Okay. So,
Once we make it outside, I would then take my sunglasses off to benefit from my ocular implants.
okay, noted. And you make your way. What are your ocular implants?
I have retinal graft, which lets me see in the dark and ignore darkness penalties due to lighting.
That's good.
I also have that, so we don't need torches, which is great.
Okay, and there goes this challenge. All right. And you make your way out into the night. How do you approach this? What do you do?
I would suggest that I'm good at keeping quiet. So I think if you want to take a more public route, and I'll go parallel to you in the shadows.
I'm pretty good at sneaking, but I'm good with
Oh, you
that
are.
too.
Great. Well, then that's fine. We can.
I mean,
both-
pretty good is relative, I should say. I don't know. Like my idea pretty good and your idea pretty good could be different. You
Or
know?
maybe that this. Who knows?
Like I might like a dog pie, but you might not like dog pie.
Well, let's pretend that I trust you, and let's then both try to keep to.
No, I like the bait idea. Bait's better. Bait's better.
Perfect. Love it. Then I'll try to be stealthy.
You got it. You should buy me some alcohol so I can like walk through the park.
If I had a penny to my name, I would. But no.
It's worth a shot.
Sadly,
It's worth a
I
shot.
did not think to fill my flask with any whiskey from the inside. I should have done some.
Oh,
some
so
grab and go next
when we go
time.
back. When we go back.
All right.
Yeah, we make our way to the park, and I will. What is lying in this game?
What
What
is
skill is that? Is that like persuasion?
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
I don't know.
Lying is. Sorry, I'm just looking at the list of skills here. I'm gonna say it's probably persuasion because it's not a lying specific.
Yeah,
skill.
so I guess I'm just going to try and act,
Yeah.
like a raucous youth on my way home.
Persuasion is the ability to convince others to do what you want through reason, cajoling, deception, rewards, or other friendly means.
All right.
Just looking here, that might actually be more performance.
Well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm just gonna walk.
Okay.
I'm so drunk. Got it.
Oh goodness. Okay, so you are just walking. You're not actually trying to sell that you're drunk.
No, like again, just because I have persuasion, like that's the skill that I have, so I'm not gonna do performance. I'm not.
You're not going
a
to try
performance.
that. Not going to try that untrained skill check. Okay. All right. So
But I will stealth.
yes, give me your stealth roll.
Watch it be terrible. Oh dear. A 3.
I can see you. I'm looking around.
Okay, so you begin making your way. Do you follow the suggested route, or do you make your own?
Is it like gets from point A to point B?
It's
kind
a
of
pretty.
thing?
No, this is a. You are going to patrol for the evening, and this is a route that you can take, which will bring you through the majority of this area. You'll probably need to repeat it a couple times, just to,
Let's do it the way they have it once, and then we'll just like zigzag and go crazy.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. So you make your way through. You begin at Hyde Park itself, making your way through the park down the cobblestone road leading through it. Nothing. Well, give me your notices. Always important. Here to roll dice, right?
Got a 3.
I got a 6, breaking my 5 streak.
Why do your dice always explode?
I don't know, and I love that we're doing this now with this thing because it makes me feel not as bad.
Give me
How
your
many times?
dice.
You have no idea how many times I've exploded, and I just don't say it. I'm like, I'm just not going to mention it.
Okay, so you make your way through the park itself, and although there are many people still milling about as the evening has not yet reached its peak, you do not sense any kind of disturbance within the park itself. You then make your way out into the surrounding streets, winding your way through the streets between the buildings, keeping your eye out for anything that might be above, below, in the alleys as you walk. And again, nothing seems to catch your eye. Eventually, you reach the end of your prescribed route at about midnight, maybe a little closer to 12:30.
All right, let's go back, yeah?
Sure. Should we? How do you propose we vary it up this time? Wait, do you mean go back to the manor or go back and?
No, gosh, no, we ain't killed nothing. That'd be crying shame.
Right. You say go back.
I meant like go back, so we can go the same route. But if let's say somebody was trailing us, like maybe somebody knew that we was around and about,
Sure, we could
then
double
it
back.
wouldn't be
or
good to
something.
do the exact same. Yeah. Or if somebody did know the route, then they would know we weren't gonna like that. We would be, doing like a circuit. So if we do it backwards, might be good. Yeah.
Right. Oh, sounds good. So reverse course.
Aye.
Okay, you reverse course. You begin making your way through the streets, eventually leading into the park. Give me your notices for this run.
Should I do a separate stealth roll as well?
Yes. Let's erase that 3.
Hooray! My notice.
I got a
is-
3 now.
Wait, where is a 9
Oof.
on my
So you get a
on
good
my notice?
Oh, nice. That was your notice. And then do your stealth.
A 6.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Significantly better.
I'm
As you
just
make
looking
your
at my
way-
umbrella. I'm like, this doesn't look like a fucking umbrella.
Your eyes, they specifically counteract darkness. That's it, right?
Correct.
Or are there other things that it counteracts?
Recipients can see in the dark, ignoring darkness penalties due to lighting. In normal lighting, the character suffers a -2 penalty to notice and ranged attacks unless wearing a wide-brimmed hat or sunglasses. Yeah, so it's just dark.
Okay, noted. All right, you begin making your way through the streets this time, working your way backwards. Do you follow the exact same path through the streets, or do you kind of vary it up a little bit? That's probably a question for...
I follow Benji.
Oh yeah, that is a question for me.
I'm slightly tailing him off into the side in the dark.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do I follow my orders?
Are you about to roll?
Nah.
randomly? No.
No, I do not. I'm like, that place looks darker, and even though this will show me most of the park, this place looks like a place that I'd mug or eat somebody. So I just start going through like random alleys that way. I try and stay close to the path, but I'm not like in it anymore.
Baxter, you quickly notice that he is deviating from the prescribed path, the one that you took before. I assume you continue following him, or do you?
I do.
Okay. You begin making your way through the darker alleys. As you do, you can find more sinister figures lurking nearby, but none of them seem to have the supernatural about them. These are just your common, everyday, bad people who might be out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Eventually, the path leads you back into the park itself at roughly 2:30 in the morning. As you do, Baxter, as Benji is walking along the path, Baxter, you can see through the fog that has begun to roll in, two figures approaching, one taller and one shorter, almost hunched.
Are they're approaching Benji?
They're approaching Benji on the path through the park.
We didn't do a signal.
I know. Just occurred to me.
Walking on sunshine.
Shisa.
Throw something at me, I
Yeah,
guess.
so I was gonna say I throw like a small pebble that would like skip across. It's if it's foggy, they're not gonna see this, but he would hear
The clicky clacking. I have a better chance of hearing
the
it.
click clack. Yeah,
Okay. Give me your athletics, I guess.
sure. I have some of that. 6. No, it exploded. A 7.
Nice.
All right.
That's some pebble throwing.
Benji, a pebble comes skipping across in front of you.
I stop and I'm like, oh, and I just pick it up. But I do look around for like where it came from, obviously.
Okay, give me your notice roll, opposing his stealth roll.
I'm actually not looking for him. I'm looking for.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking for
just-
anything, but
You're
yeah.
looking to see if you find. All right.
5.
You can tell about where it came from, but you don't notice Baxter there.
All right. Do I see anything else? But I'm looking around. I'm assuming there's something around. Nobody just throws pebbles.
No. No, you don't
right.
notice him or anything in that direction because you can tell where it came from.
Yeah, but I'm looking around now in general.
Okay. You can give me a smarts roll to try to interpret this.
You got it. Do.
There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Holy.
There is danger.
What did you roll?
I got an 11.
Okay. With that 11, yes, with the angle that it came in, because you're apparently a savant with trigonometry,
Spatial awareness. My spatial intelligence is real good.
the angle it came in, you can tell that's probably about where Benji should have been. And the velocity with which it came in, getting so close to you, it's probably likely that this is some kind of signal.
So yeah, I'm just gonna like after I get the pebble, I'm gonna stretch and just be like, just gonna, looks like rain.
Okay. Benji, you see this first as they're approaching. You see what looks like a burly young man supporting a frail older woman emerge from the fog toward Benji.
Would it be? I guess I've already noticed them. So how would I try to decipher more about them? Is that just another notice roll? Like to try to like, do I believe this situation, or is it?
So it depends on what you're trying to investigate. Are you thinking that this would be something magical like a cult? Are you looking for academic knowledge like trying to determine a country of origin? Common knowledge, which would just be a generic rule about people, places, and things.
It's not normal
I'm
for
trying
this.
to pierce the bluff of like, is this a con?
Okay. Piercing.
Is she as frail as she
bluff.
looks?
Piercing the bluff. Piercing the bluff. Good question. Let's go with.
That's a great
that's
question.
probably going to be a notice. A notice opposed by performance.
All right, that's.
I hope that's your roll.
Oh my!
Oh my! Oh
A
my!
16. That's a 16.
Okay, they exploded once, but it was not enough to overcome a 16. Okay, as they're approaching, you can see very clearly that the older woman is genuinely being supported by this younger burly man. You can also see that her eyes are glazed over. This is clearly a blind woman. There does not seem to be anything affected about the way that she is approaching. It seems genuine and natural.
All right. I'm gonna try to sneak my way just so that they are sort of like flank them to get behind them as they approach him. Benji,
All right, you're coming around the back. Then by the time they will reach him, you'll have gotten about 3/4 of the way around, so you won't
Sure,
be directly
great.
behind,
Okay.
but you'll be close enough.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As they approach, Benji, you can eventually see them emerging from the fog, probably much sooner than you would have without your darkness-seeking eyes. Do you do anything in particular as they walk towards you? You're just,
just stretch you with the
Sunlight.
umbrella. No, after
I hope not. That might tip out the bullets.
this way, stretching this way. But yeah, I'll like as they get closer, I'll like obviously like move to like go off to the side.
Okay, all right. As you step
And I'll
off
give
to
them
the
like
side,
a polite evening.
you give the evening as they approach, and the old woman turns towards you. Young man, and she holds out her palm. Will you cross me with silver?
Does that mean something?
Yes, it means will you give her money?
I start patting my jacket and stuff like that because I have virtually no money, and I definitely don't have a silver. Like I don't have like a whole pence to my name. I've got a bunch of shillings and pennies, so I'm not like I'm really not rolling in any kind of dough.
Yep.
However, I do have some dinner rolls that I took, so I produce a dinner roll, and then I go back and I go, oh, you know what the heck, and I go back in and I get 2 dinner rolls.
Okay. And you put
So
a dinner roll
generous.
in her hand.
I put 2 dinner rolls in there.
Oh boy.
I said, that's one for each of you.
Okay. As you go to place the dinner rolls in her hand, she jerks it back from it, holds it out towards you in a clawed gesture, and hisses, "Beware the son of 2 fathers," before retracting her hand.
Who's that? Is that me?
Baxter.
Am I that?
Give me a notice roll.
That's a 5.
Okay. You hear hurried footsteps coming from further down, from the direction that the old woman and burly man originally came from, basically walking toward you in the same path. You can hear them very quickly approaching. Not running, just like a brisk walk.
Or her? Yeah, power.
Yes,
Okay,
power
then
walk.
I'll slink around behind like a corner to be even more sort of obscured, concealed,
Okay.
and watch and see what happens.
Great. As he approaches, you
I'm
can
also
see,
ready my pistol.
you can see a short, very plain-looking man emerges from the fogs, working purposefully toward the group. You do anything?
I
Anybody?
do not.
Okay.
I observe. I wait.
Great. Then before too long, Benji, you can see this figure also emerge from the fog, walking in your direction.
I go, oh, is that a fortune? And I go, oh, who's that?
You turn toward him and say, "Who's that?" He looks at you, he locks eyes with you, and just kind of shrugs his head, shrugs his shoulders. You don't shrug heads. Shrugs his shoulders, shakes his head, and just keeps walking, not making, breaking eye contact with you, and not looking in your direction again.
And he's just walking. He just got somewhere to be.
He just got somewhere to be.
Can I make any kind of like look about him? Like, does he have like, I don't know, bloody pockets or like, like
notice.
is there anything different about him?
You can give me a notice.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, 3. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No.
All right. So I look at him and I'm like, what an asshole. Hey, what, is that a fortune?
He approaches, he walks past you and the woman, and as he does, her head turns looking at him. She turns and gestures, spitting an unintelligible curse at him, at which point you can see him turn over his shoulder looking, a flicker of rage crossing his face, and then a demonic surge of anger seems to contort his plain features. With a bestial growl, he lunges out, knocking the woman over, and then begins taking off into the fog away from you.
Well, that just happened so fast.
Yes,
I-
yes, it did.
I hightail it.
Run. Yeah, I run toward
him?
Sorry! Enjoy the rolls!
Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show. Come back tomorrow for the next part of this one-shot adventure. But if you want more now, the rest of this one-shot is up on our Patreon. Plus, this will continue in a full campaign exclusive for our patrons. So, if you're enjoying the show, consider joining to help support the channel and get some more tabletop content. If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can join our new Discord. Check the description for a link. Don't have Discord? No worries. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender. Or subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution License. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms. Can you leave a musket loaded, or do you have to load it in the moment?
You can leave it loaded. The problem is it takes 2 rounds to load. So you are like, blam! The end. That's
No, I don't
it.
mean in terms of game mechanics. I mean an actual
Like actually,
musket.
I think it depends on when it was made. Actually,
The pellets just fall right out.
Well, if you keep it, that's why they store them up, because then you take them out and then you can like go like this. But you have to run with them up. You ever notice like they're never running with them like the other way or anything like that, or like pointed down? Because you're probably right, it would. But you do pack it in. But
Right.
no, the pellets would totally fall out.
Yeah.
But I know that they store them upright, so it's probably up. Boop.
Today on Random Stuff Rich Knows.
I'm just making an educated guess because I've seen them take it up. I was like, it just makes the most sense to me.
Seems legit.
I'm using my dad bullshit knowledge, but I mean, it seems solid.